Hi, it's Johnny. This video is going to talk about how do I put those four formula together and make it so I could use this. How do I go about making this NES, uh, Super NES work? So what I do is I will go to a folder. I go to open up Notepad++, and I went to the ASPS. Then I went to location. In the location, that's where all it used to be called English, Italian, French. Just keep one of them, which is Neo Geo, and the rest of them just name it to whatever you wanted to call it, which is make more sense. So what I did is I created a file. Well, and Anthony created the file for me because he liked the idea of breaking it differently. So this actually came from Anthony. I think I did 450 per each one, but then he created a file which is separated by alphabet. So we need to open all five of those and put it into my spreadsheet one, which is creating the game list. I might have to rename them so it would make sense, like number one, number two, so you know which one to use first. So I'm going to open up the game.ini. Okay, that's the first one. And you could look up here, it say and my SNES1. Okay, first one. So you want to go ahead and the best way to do it, just go Control A, hold down the Shift. That way you don't have to like scroll down and back. Just copy that, come to the first column, and paste it. Okay, so this one, the name is pretty long, so actually, I don't want to do that. Let's undo this. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. Okay, there you go. I don't want to highlight everything. All right, let's try paste it now. Okay, we're good. See, automatically create this already. A while ago, I was highlight everything. When I click on it, something went wrong. That's why the formula looked funny. Okay, so this one is supposed to be, you want to make sure there's no character in between this space. If there is, that means there's too many space between it. Okay, I think I have a video talk about this last time. So we're going to scroll all the way down to the last entry. Oh, this, you don't worry, because this have a lot of space. That's the reason you don't see anymore, because this lot of space show you this. That's normal, because the last one on this list is actually this one, W. There is something wrong with this game list. You saw the name is kind of like messed up right now already. I bet there's somewhere in here have an extra space in my list probably. So let's check it out, see this. Whenever that happens, you will have to fix it before you start to continue with the copy and paste. Make sure there's only one space per. So if something go wrong, you will automatically see something in the between the square bracket, the rectangle bracket. Oop, okay. Okay, so right here I kind of like give up giving the description. I did not really give a good description. See that? That's why it looked the way it looked. Oh, you know what? This came from the. I think this list came from the other group that I just copy and paste it here to see, if it work or not. This is not from me. This is from the, because I was doing testing. Yeah, all this need to be deleted out. This, okay, mine stop at D. This is start with A. This came from what you call it. This came from the version 1.1 that they gave you for with the image. So I'm going to delete those. Those are not part of my image. My image does have description. They don't. That's why I look the way it look. Okay, so once you delete that, you're going to start from here and paste it down. So let's go back to my list. Okay, I'm going to replace this anyway, so I'm not going to delete anything right now. I'm just going to continue open up the next one. So I'm going to go File, Open. This is SN1, and we go into the second one, and you do this, continue to, you're going to do Control A, select all, and then you're going to hold the Shift key and press this last one. That way you don't get this. You don't want this. You mess it, mess your formula up. Then you do copy. Control Alt Tab, bring you back here. Then we're gonna do paste again. There you go. Okay. And then you want to scroll all the way down to the last one. Make sure there's no something like messed up. Oop, too much. Now this one definitely is going to go over the all this format, which is okay because because I didn't create a form. So you want, if you want to create this pattern, you just, well, actually I could just drag it the whole thing down. It would just create that for me because I need to create more of those line. I don't have enough. So I want to create all the way down to 1,000. This is how you do it. You just drag it and drag it down, and it will create a color pattern for you. Now I think this one at least is 1,400 something. So I'm gonna go over now, make it to a 2,000, just in case somebody have something that is. Let's go 2,500 instead. That way, in case anybody who want to put something that much, you have this pattern for you. Now, this pattern in here, so I don't need this two. So I'm going to delete those two. Okay. So you're going to copy and paste down here. Okay. So this one is ready for 2048. Okay. So if you look over here on this side, you should be good. That's why I want to clean this up before I give it to you guys. I have some stuff that I was testing previously from the old version with the new version. I think we moved the ROM set. So okay, so we're gonna start from it. Look, guys, good. Nothing is on this line. If something go wrong, you will see some of this in here. That means that there's too many space between each of those game lists. All right, so do Alt Tab again. Now we're gonna open. This is the second one. We're gonna open the third. Location, and we're gonna open up the third one. All right, so you're gonna do select all, hold the shift key on the top. Oop, see I messed up. So select all, hold shift key, press enter. There you go. Copy. Paste. All right, still looking good. All right, so we're going to the next one. Alt tab. All right, so it's number 3. Going to go to number 4. All right, going to do select all, hold shift, press right button of the mouse, copy. Now we're going to open the last one. Here, number 4. Last one should be number 5. Yep. Games.i9. All right, number 5. You can see NES5. select all again, hold shift, press right click on the mouse, copy and paste. So look like the last one I paste is correct. I still don't have anything underlined because I'm using a formula, so they all have correct one space per each game. Okay, so it's perfect. The last one is this one. Okay, I know it say 1,133.99, but it's actually I don't know how much. So let's go look at it. So we're gonna go all the way up to the top. Now this formula is set to go up to 2,322, so you don't have to worry that this side is real long, this side don't have enough. No, it does, because this is only it's not skipping any space. This is skipping 8 spaces per each one. From here to here is 8 spaces. So that's why that's why you are seeing what you're seeing right now. But if you go down to based on the number it's not 200. That's just the last one that from the list was 200 from the game list. So let's go all the way up to the top and see where we at. So if you look across, I just select both of them. The list is completed. So if you look across right here, it's 1,425 game. So that is correct. So I have 1,400 game listed for this console. So now I need to go create the game list for my NES. So we're gonna go to the game list, which is this one, and I don't have one yet created for NES. So I'm gonna go ahead and say click on the plus sign, click on the plus sign again. Okay, create a sheet. Now I'm gonna go ahead and paste this in here. All right, double click it. And now I'm gonna rename this to, so I know what that one is. It's NES, and it's 1,425. Okay, so now I have a ROM and a description, and so we need this for the game list, and we're also going to rename those. So it doesn't like this anymore, so we need to rename this to something totally different. So I have to create a formula to make this work. So I'm gonna go, okay, first I need to make this let's do one thing at a time. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna add need to add something called .smc, because we are going to put the name back to SMC. Okay. All right. So once you create that, you just click on the corner right here, and it will generate this whole list for me. Okay. So now all this thing is created with the .smi. So I'm going to rename the physical ROM to this. Now, this is not correct. This is not .zip. Okay, by default, it's going to bring everything to a zip file. See, by default, everything is zip. Okay, because originally it was made for RK. So I need to, before I do anything, I need to do Control F. And we're going to do find and replace. Okay, we're going to replace it with .smc. That's the name that we name it to, and that's what it work. So we're going to keep it as SMC. Then we're going to go replace all. Now they're all as SMC, so it's correct. 1,425 total replacement. So now all this is correct. It's SMC. This is a physical name of the ROM. This is the description. Got it from the game list, remember? So if you go back to the game list, this is the physical name that we name it, and this is the description we got. So what we're going to do is put this back into this, and then we're going to rename this to, SMC in front of it instead of in the back. And then we are going to use this as an ID for the WOM set. So let's go back to this. Okay, so let's look at this. So we have to rename this to something else. So we're going to go ahead and insert another field. All right, we're going to make this equal to this, but we're going to delete the SMC underscore. Okay, we're going to delete that. And yes, that's good, underscore. So we're going to delete all that. So how do you delete that? Okay, first we have to add SMC in front of it. So we're going to put quotation SMC underscore. And we're going to add that. So we put an end symbol. So that's how you add in front of it. But we want everything in lowercase. So we're going to put SMC. All right. And when we rename it, we want everything also in lowercase. So we're going to put lowercase, which is lower mean converted to lowercase. You say right here, convert the letter to lowercase on everything in A1. Okay, enter. So we added the SMC and everything is lowercase, but we don't want this extra SMC in the back. So we want to get rid of it. So to get rid of that, we're going to have to do this inside the SMC, which we're going to say left, and we're going to say length, L-E-N, length of A1, and we're going to minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to minus 8 of it. Let's see if this works. Yeah, gonna have an error. Okay, I think that should be correct. So what happened is the left length argument is saying that take this, and I want you to subtract the amount, but we don't know how long this is. So we get the word length. Length A1 is this one, A1. Find out how long it is, and I want you to subtract 8. Okay. So whatever how long this is minus 8, but I want you to do it on the left side. So the left side of this will be from this side going across. Okay. And then the red, it match up with this red, and so we're good. And the blue is blue, so we should be good with this. So let's go ahead and press enter. Okay, so I need another one for lowercase. So let's put one more, see if that would fix that. Nope. So it's saying we have too many parameter, I think. This one would, that one. Okay, red with red and lowercase. Let's try to take this lowercase off first and do it later. Let's see if that would help. So we could figure out exactly what are we not doing correctly. So this one with this, Maybe I have too many parameter. Nope. Okay, I cheated. I went to the other spreadsheet. The other one, let me show you what I did. I went to the one that was working and I just copied this out. Just copy that, and then I went in here and paste it. Where's my spreadsheet? Okay, so I went in here and paste it inside the lowercase. So I paste this in here. I just pretty much went and paste that. For example, it was showing, then I just paste that in and remove the equal sign. So make sure that work first. Okay. So it did remove the 4-digit plus the period. So it's 4. But we want to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more. So we're going to go ahead and remove that to 8. Okay. So now I only have the U. But then we're missing the SMC. So we're going to combine them, add the dot SM lowercase SMC back into the equation. Okay, so now we are back into .smc. So this is the new name we want to call this. With everything lowercase, we're going to name this physical ROM file into this name. Okay, and then actually we are not renaming this. We're going to rename the folder. This one we're actually going to rename it to this. Okay, so let me go ahead and remove the SMC because we are not going to do the SMC because we actually going to rename just the folder. Okay, so we're going to take this folder, rename to that folder. Okay, so that means we're going to double click here. Now it's going to create that for me, and also same time, I want to go ahead insert another field, and I want this to equal this, but I don't want the SMC. So I'm going to paste that here, that formula, and so the SMC is gone because I want to rename this, the folder for the Super Nintendo image box. We're gonna rename all the folder to this folder name. Okay, because this is gonna be my ID number. So this two, so I'm gonna do double click. So this two will actually be a set. Okay, so this two will actually be a set. So I'm gonna change that to one color. So when I copy it, when I do the renaming, this is the one set. And then this one is a physical name that need to be renamed with this other one, which is this one. So let me move this closer. So it's actually this one. So this one need to go with the other one together. So I'm going to take this one and cut and put it right next to this one. See, that still did not screw up the formula because you know it's pointing to this one. And this one and this one are actually together. So we're going to put that in yellow color. So when I do the renaming, I know these two belong to each other. So this physical name is going to become the original name before I change it. See, I had to change it back. This one was originally, this was originally ROM name that was, we changed it to this one. Now, because of the new setup, I had to change this back to this. Okay, then I had to change the folder to the new folder ID, which is this one. which is this one. So I have to rename the old folder into this folder name. Okay. So once this is done, then we could do that WOM set stuff that we was talking about. So yes, this is an extra step that I have to do because the new setup do not read this. It want this, but it cannot use this as an ID. You have to use no space ID. Okay. And then at the same time, I want the ID have to match with the image folder. Otherwise, would not work. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and copy this over. Okay, we're gonna name the physical ROM name from here to this. So we're gonna go ahead and select A, copy that, and we're gonna go to the other spreadsheet, which is the rename one. It's called the rename SMC. Okay, so this one is the rename. So we're gonna go to this one. All right, we don't worry about any of those things. Those are from the previous other stuff that I do. It's only one folder, this one. Okay, and you're gonna press delete. Okay, since you press delete, I lost the copy. So I have to go back and copy this because the clipboard, once you start doing something on the clipboard, you lose the copy that you made. So let's do copy again, do Alt Tab, and we're going to do value. Okay, that way it won't mess up anything else. It will keep the color and everything. All right, so now we're gonna change it to this one. So C is the one you're gonna need. B is not necessary. That's why I try to hide it. You don't need anything on the B. You could actually, let's just go ahead and click high because you don't need that one. All right, so you're gonna put in a C. I'm gonna tap it, highlight the whole thing, copy. Okay, and then we select paste. All right, so we're gonna change this to this. Now we're gonna look for a formula. More likely it's gonna be the one in the back. This is to delete the, the folder that after you rename all the folder, you could delete the folder. But we're not doing the folder, we're doing the physical file. So we're going to go to the file, the very last one. Not this one. I believe it's this one. But I think I changed the formula. Okay. All right. So what this one does is it copy the physical file and it rename it. Oh no, this do not rename it. So what we're going to do is change the formula again. I'm going to go back to C. Let me see if I have changed it. Yeah, I sure did. I did change it. So we're going to go here. Instead of putting A, I'm going from A to A. I think that's only for folder. Yeah, this is only for folder. From here to here will be a folder. So what I'm going to do is create another one. And then copy this line, first line, escape. And I'm just going to paste it on top. All right, I'm going to change that to C1. Okay, so he's saying copy this file name and this is actually put into a folder. See, I made a boo-boo right here, made a mistake. I suppose I copied the same exact thing over here. That's the reason my formula was looking kind of weird. So let's go back to the game list. This one. Okay, this one is not the one I want. It's the B. It's not this one. It's this one. Okay. So I want to rename the physical ROM into SMC. So this is the one I want. I don't know what this formula is. It's taking this, adding that to it. Oh, this is the ROM changing. So it's taking the physical ROM name, changing it to the ROM name that has space. It's SMC, so it is correct. I'm taking this ROM, change it to this ROM. So I need to copy this B, make sure I copy the right one. Yeah, I did. It's from here to here, A to C. Okay, so it's correct. So it's copy. No, this is a different one. This one is actually need to be high because that's for Neo Geo Mini. Okay, so let's go over here again. So we take in this file, change it to change it to this one, which have space. Yes, correct. Does have space. And I don't want to put it to, I just want to save this to this. So I don't need this print to see extra stuff here. Okay, so it's taking this file, copy to this file. Ooh, I need to have that quote, quote, quote. Okay, it took it. So rename this file, create a folder, and put all the new name into this folder called ROMs. Now it might ask me yes and no questions, so I need to add another symbol and tell it that yes, this minus, instead of greater sign, you're going to do the less than sign because you are putting information into the question they're asking. If you are transferring a file out, this is what you put for the greater sign. So we're going to put less than, and we'll type the word yes dot test file. So we're saying that add this to this information, but I want to have a one space at least. Okay, let's try that. All right. So it's saying copy this to this, and it's going to say yes. So I had to create this file called yes. So we're going to go ahead and double click it, and this is the formula we're going to use to copy a file to uh, to rename the file to another name and put it into a folder. So that's how I create a formula. Is whatever I need a formula, I use the old formula to modify it, and it's okay to make mistake because I'm not. I mean, I don't know everything about Excel. I learn as I go. So, and whatever I have a good formula, I kept it. And then sometimes I look at the old formula, try to figure it out and create a new one. Okay. So this is a file. So we're going to, inside the yes, we're going to put F, uppercase F. If it's a directory, like a folder, you have to use D for directory. Okay. So we're going to go to, now we're going to test it out so you understand what I'm doing. We don't need that anymore right now. So we're going to go to the P drive, which is my flash drive. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to rename the ROM for the Super Famicom. Okay. See, all the names don't have the correct format because I rename it to the other name. This one actually is correct. This one is already not correct. Did I did this already? I think no, I didn't run this yet. Oh, I didn't run this yet. How many files here? Okay, that's correct. Oh, you know what? Some of this is not, has already been changed. That's the reason it's not moving over. I have changed some of those already. Okay, so I'm going to use my backup because I've been doing a lot of testing, and so those ROM are not correct because I did some changes. So I'm deleting all those over here, and I'm going to use the one my backup that I have. So I'm going to use this one because this is a correct number, 1,425. So I'm going to create a new text file. In this text file, I'm going to say rename the ROM back to the original name. Okay, and I'm going to change that to a batch file, which is BAT. Yes, and then I'm going to create another one called new text file. Call this one yes. Oop, where'd it go? I just lost it. Let's create a new text file called yes, and in that file I'm going to open up and I'm going to put directory, no, file, because it's a file that I'm making copy. You have to make sure you have a enter, okay, have one space, otherwise you will not if you just leave it like that, it's not going to work. You have to press enter to have one space. Then you're going to say save, then close that. All right, so we're going to look for that original batch file, which can't find. We'll go sort by date. There you go. And that one's going to delete because a while ago I couldn't find it. Now I found it. So I'm going to edit this file and I'm going to paste the information I got. So what it's saying is that copy this file over to this file, and if it asks you a question, put directory. So I'm going to pause it 3 down to make sure it is working before I assume it's working. So I want to make sure it works. So I'm going to pause it. So you're going to run those 3. It's going to ask me, it's going to wait till I press enter or close it. Okay, if I close it, means I need to fix it. I'm going to save it. And let's go ahead and run the file. Once it's finished, I'm going to copy the ROM folder and put it into my flash drive for the new update. So let's go ahead and run it. Let's see what happened. Okay, so he said copy the file over. He asked me, is it a file or directory? And I say it's a file. So he copied the file to the directory called ROM. So 1, 2, 3, and it asked me to continue. So before I continue, I want to check that folder called ROM and make sure that everything is going the way I'm hoping. See, the name has been changed. There's space and there's USC on it. Okay, so it's information is put back the way it's supposed to be. And this is the file name that I'm going to use for my ROM list, ROM information list. Okay, ROM info.txt. Okay, so that's correct. So I'm going to go ahead and press continue. Now you might ask why you rename it back. Well, because of this program, they don't want you to change it. If you change it, it doesn't work. Before, it was the opposite. It wants you to change it because there's too much space. So it will not work if you don't change it. So it's kind of opposite. I guess they realized there was a problem and it's hard to figure out what's the best way to go about it. So they went and fixed the issue. And now you don't have to rename it. But because of the old version, we have renamed it. Now we are putting it back to the original name. Okay, so that's why there's a lot of stuff that do not work. Originally there was issue, and now they fixed the issue. But since they did fix it, they didn't tell they didn't know people like me would be working on this and realizing there is a big different change. Okay, so because of the ROM name, they had to rename it, which is a pain in the neck. Because if you don't have a formula like I have, or create a formula, it is a pain in the neck to name one by one. So for me, I could just run the batch file and let it run the command for me, you know, and I don't have to, you know. So while that one is running, let's go ahead and do the other one. See, the file is being created. So once it's finished, I'm going to copy over here. The next one we're going to do is the directory. Now, when I say directory, I mean the game image folder, this one, okay? We have, the way I used to name it was SMC in the back. We're going to put the SMC in the front, and we're going to keep the name structure. So we're going to use the same name structure, but we have to rename this to the new one, which is, we're going to name the old one to the new one, okay? So we're going to do that because this is going to be my ID name for the ROM, for the game, for the ROM list information. And when I say ROM information, I mean right here, this ROM ID, okay? That's the name I'm going to use for. So it's going to be SMC underscore whatever the game name, okay? And then the physical ROM file is just going to be exactly with space and open close parenthesis USA dot SMC, okay? So that's what we are doing right now. But we have to physically change all this before we could actually create this and this, okay? So once this is all created, we could actually press delete here, go into this one, delete, this one, delete, this one, delete, and the last one, the fifth one, we're going to delete. And we're going to put the new one in here, okay? And this one, what we're going to do is once it's ready, we're going to be waiting for it, and we're going to copy the whole thing in here, and then we could go test it. So this is the last step we do when we create the ROM list, game list, and then we are done. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and minimize this, and what we're going to do now is take this file, saying we're going to take this folder. Okay. We're going to name it to this one. So we're going to highlight everything, and we don't want to copy the formula. We just want to copy the text file. So we want to make sure we select the value. So we're going to go to, where's mine? Okay, rename this one. All right. So we're going to scroll all the way down to this side. We're going to delete this. And since we deleted, we lost the copy and paste stuff. So we need to copy it again. And then we're going to paste it. You're choosing this. And then we're going to delete this. Then we're going to come here, select D, copy. Now you don't want to paste this. This is a formula. So we want to paste the value, just a text file. See, when you click on it, there's no formula. See that? But if you go back to this one, you click on this, you see a formula. See that? So this is a formula you don't want to copy over. You just want to copy the information that you're looking at. Okay, so we're going to minimize this now. So this is ready to create a formula. Is my batch file still running? No, it's finished. So my batch file is finished. That means I could go back to here, copy all my ROM, which is 1000. Ooh, missing 10. I'm missing 10 of them. Okay, I got the folder done. They are all correct. There's 1425, but on the game ROM, I'm missing 5. So I might have to move this out to a file and compare it and see which one I'm missing. So that's one thing I don't like is if something get messed up, then you have to, because you have to follow the game list. You can't change it because otherwise all this will become a chaos because this name will not follow this information. So it have to be matching. Right now for some reason 5 game is not matching. So That's a little bit irritating. Okay, but this one works, so I'm going to go ahead and copy all this out and put it into the proper place. I'm going to copy it because I want to use this to probably convert it back to a file and then use a file to compare the ROM to see what's exactly going on. Why is it not matching up? Okay, so I use the original name, run the batch file, and now I put it in a folder into this content. So the way to do it is you copy the original file name. Well, this is the file. This is the one I use. Without the extension, I just copy the physical file, the not file folder, from one folder to another folder, and then it will ask me is it a directory or file. You're gonna put a D on your yes inside the yes, okay, with the return. Then I run this one, run the batch file, and it work. So I'm gonna copy that ROM directory, which right here. I think I already did that. Let me do it again. Gonna copy this SMC to my original game folder, which is here. So I'm gonna copy it to here, and then I need to delete the old one. So before I copy, I need to delete all the old one. So the way to delete it, you just open this same place. Now you can look for delete file, so you could delete those file. The one I'm using is not the delete key. Seems like it doesn't delete, it just delete the inside the it delete the file, but only inside the file, doesn't remove the folder. So I'm gonna use the RD. It actually remove in a quiet mode, and it will remove the folder and inside the folder as well. So this is the old one. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy that whole thing and then put it in a batch file again, but I'm gonna put it into a folder. I don't know which one I'm using right now, confusing. Okay, so this is the P and this is the I'm gonna try to remove this. So right now I have 4008. So I want to remove the old one and then copy the new one into here. So I'm gonna go right click, new, gonna put text file, gonna say remove remove the old SMC folder. Okay, and inside I'm gonna put in this thing I just copy and paste. I don't need none of this junk here because I select everything. Shouldn't do it that way. I'm gonna select all and delete because that's a lot of file to cannot get there that quick. So I'm just gonna go back to this and I'm just gonna select from the first column one all the way down to the last one. Okay, go back up. Oh, too much. Okay, so that's 1225 file that I'm gonna delete. So I'm gonna copy that, go here, I'm gonna paste it. All right, so I always use one of the couple of them pause it to make sure it's removing. So PAUSE. All right, gonna do file save and close it and then change it to a batch file because it won't kick in unless it's a batch file. So yes, and the one we are moving is a directory. So let's open this file, make sure it's a D file, D, and there's an enter, good. Close that. And now we're gonna kick in this one. So the last one is going to be delete will be this one because those are SMC. So if this disappear and the number gets smaller, then we know that it's working. So let's go ahead and click on it. And look like it's removing those three already. All right, press enter. So I'm actually removing the old folder, replacing with the new one. So it's pretty much redoing the whole thing because that's what I'm doing. All the old stuff do not work with the new version of Hilo 1.1 because the naming structure is totally different than the first hack that they did release. The first hack was good, but there also was a lot of problem. But since I already figured out the ROM set, but I guess it's best for changing because when you change it, you keep everything the original. You're not renaming the ROM name. You just naming the ID name. So the ID name is going to follow based on the folder, but the physical name is going to kept the same. So in a way, it's good. It's good, but then it's pain in the neck because in order for everything to work, I have to redo the whole thing again. All right, so we're going to let this run, and then I'm going to try to figure out which one I'm missing, and gonna put the video on pause. And once I figure it out, then we will continue with the ROMless and the gameless, game INI. Okay. All right. Okay, we're ready to work on the ROM list, ROM info, and the game INI. So we got the file and everything done. The folder is renamed for the pictures, and the ROM name is being renamed. So the only thing left is this two information. Once it's put in, then we could test the game out. So we need to go find three things. One is the game description, okay? The physical ROM, and then the ID. ID would be the ID for the game, like right here, ID, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and come over here and start to delete those. So we're gonna take this one, delete, delete, and we come here and press delete. Okay, here you don't have to change anything anymore, even though you could, but you don't need to anymore because we have it right here, so you could change it over here now. Okay, so we're gonna come over here and look for three things from the list. So we're gonna go to the game list, which is this is the game list, the main game automatic. No, this is the automatic, not this one. I mean, it is this one, but it just the title is on top, so you get confused. So this is the game list. So if you open up wider, you see that this is a game list. Right now it's named NES, but we're gonna call it main game list. Okay. Well, actually, it's the game list for everything. So now we got Nintendo. We have Super Nintendo. We have two because I was having problem with the 125, so I bring in another one says 129, but I think I already fixed it. It is still say the same thing. Yeah, 125. So the same. I just didn't change the name. So they both are named the same. And so the reason I bring in both of them, I wasn't sure did I did something wrong on this side or did I did something that I need to correct it because the ROM wasn't. Turned out that what happened was in my game list, I changed the name to make it shorter, but I forgot to fix it in the way it's laid out physically. So that's why some of the stuff is kind of a little bit messed up. Okay, so this is like the two that messed up. There's total of 5 that wasn't correct. So those are the two. It's most of the homebrews game that I removed the homebrews name. But when I added the SMC, I didn't put an underscore on it. Here's another one. There's another homebrew here that I messed up. So that's 3 right there. So it's total of 4. And I think the last 2 was the Donkey Kong one. Okay. So I'm trying to decide which one should I use, this one or should I use this one? Because they're both pretty much the same. So those are the 2. No, that's not the 2. Those are the going by hundreds stuff. Okay, it should be okay to use either one because I found out the mistake wasn't because of it's just the way I name it, but so all that is being corrected. So when it's corrected, so this side is also being corrected as well. Yeah, because I forgot to put the underscore. And here you don't have an underscore. You just we removed the SMC underscore. So this one should be okay now. And then, ooh, so there's a chance that I might lose the N on that. The photo is correct. Okay, I changed it. The part of the reason it wasn't working was because I added the word homebrew in my game list, but I didn't physically change the name. So that's why when it changed it back to, it would change from this to that. It did not recognize the, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the description. This is a physical game name. I'm gonna go to right here, physical name, so be column 1. I'm gonna go ahead and paste that in here. So this is the physical ROM that we're gonna keep it the name the way this is. Okay, and then we're going to do the, so the physical ROM, that's the way it is named too. And then we are going to name it with the ID. So this is going to be the ID name, plus it's also the same name for the box artwork. So the box artwork is going to be right here, the ID for the physical ID plus the artwork. It's going to be called SMC. Okay, and then here is going to be the description. So the description is not going to have an SMC behind it. It would just be a solid name like this. So this is the one that I want. And make sure this is the one. Yeah. So this one doesn't have the extension. You just have a physical description, and that's what I want. So I'll copy that. Okay, paste that. And they're all lined up correctly because they are originally from the same file that the name got changed and everything. So they all should be all correctly lined up correctly. All right. So we have the physical name, we have the description, we have the ID, which is also the box artwork name, and this should match with everything physically. So your one list is done. That's it. It's done. You just copy from, make sure you're all the way up to the top. Don't miss any. Don't miss any one. Like I almost select from where I saw. This is one. So you want to select the first one. And you want to go ahead and scroll all the way down till you see the last one. And then you're going to grab it. Okay. So we're almost there. Well, not quite. It's a lot of file. We're in the S now. And we're in T. We're in U, W, Y. We're going to slow it down a little bit. Yeah, we already passed it. Going to go back up and look for Z, as in zebra. Right here. This should be the last one. Yep. Because this is a 0 and 0, so it doesn't have anything. So this is the last one. And if you look at cost, well, if you look here, cost is 1,425. So that's correct. So we're going to copy that. And this is Mega Drive. So this is not correct. You see that? Before I continue, this is not correct. This is Mega Drive. Okay? So what we need to do is change the name from here. Okay? But before we do, let's make sure the path that is in the right place. So let's go to the SD card. Let's go to my SD card. Make sure the path, everything is correct. So go to the P drive. You always want to double check it. ASP. Okay, so the ROM is going to be in hack and it's in ROMs. The folder is going to be SFC. Okay, that's where all the ROM is going to be at. You see the physical ROM have space. Okay, so we are going to change this. Input the EM is going to be SFC. Okay, when you do that, all that changed to SFC. Now the directory is also SFC. the folder. So you're going to put SFC. All right. For Mega Drive, you will type the word Mega Drive. Like if you have Final Burnout, you will type in like Final Burnout and then CPS1, you know, and that then if you do that, so you create CPS, FBA, CPS1. See that for the Final Burnout. But we don't. The reason I typed that was because if you look at the, let me do Alt tab. If you look at the way they set it up, they put Final Burnout and they have CPS1, CPS2, and 3. So you want to able to do that, and so that thing that I gave you allow you to put the FBA CPS1, and that's what you just did. Okay, but the forward, you're going to use a forward slash instead of backslash. Yeah, you don't want to for example, you don't want to type it like this. If you do that, that's not going to work because he got this one facing the wrong direction. Okay, so you want to make sure you have it face forward instead of uh, having a backslash. You want a forward slash. Okay, that's for Final Burnout. But since we have the same location, the ID and this are the same. The folder is the same. It's called ROM that folder. Okay, because we already checked that. So now it's good to copy because you have the ID is correct and the the physical path is correct. Now you're gonna say, well, how do you know which one is which ID? Well, let me show you. So first we went to check to make sure that this is ROM and this is SFC, and the ROM, this file that we're going to run is inside here, which is the 2000 Super Baseball. See, it's right there. Okay, and then you want to know, well, how do you know the ID number? So ID number came from here called the EMR, emulator information info. Okay, abbreviation of emulation uh, information. I mean emulator information. Okay, and the one you're using is called SFC. So that's just your ID, and it's going to run this emulator. So when you put SFC, it's going to run this file. So this is correct, SFC. Your emulator you're going to be using is Super Famicom. All right, that's how you get the ID. So this is pretty much set. This is ready. A while ago I didn't check that, so we almost did a copy over for nothing. It will be not correct. Now everything is correct. So we're gonna go and grab everything. Do it one more time. So we renamed the image now called SMC. So later on in the future, we could find them and able to know which. So we won't have a like, because there are game out there that have the same name. And now it's because it's different name. We won't have this problem where, you know, have that issue. They kind of all okay. Just pass it. So the last one is this one because the other two, the one below it is all ID 0. That means no more. So we're gonna go ahead and copy that, and you could also, well, we already check already the number. If you want to, let's go back down for you. See, the last one that we did was 1,425. So it's perfect. This is correct. So we're gonna go open your notepad, which is already open. It's waiting for us. Here says Super Nintendo, created by Johnny. Today's day is the 4th. It's not the 3rd. Yesterday was the 3rd. Okay. And that's the correct number that we are adding to the ROM list. So we're going to paste that. All right. So all the Super Nintendo ROM list is done. Now we're going to click Save on the far left screen. Now we're going to go to game list 1, 2, 3, 4. The game list 1, we want to stop at D. So we're going to go to pound sign to D. whatever that could be. Okay, so we are going to do Alt Tab. We're going to come back here and we want to look for D. So all this is already set up for you. Don't worry about this line going over because I didn't want to do this, make it so long. That's all. It's nothing. You could pull it down closer. It just look like it's sticking out, but it's not. It's fully covered. And so we're gonna go up to game number one. And right now this is showing 600. So we're going to right here. It doesn't tell you nothing. You don't have to do nothing. You just start with a 0. This is the 2000. Okay. This is the this is called and go SMC. See, the way we have it before is we put the ROM name here, but now they change it. You don't put the ROM name here. You put the ID name here. But that's the reason it doesn't work the older version on the newer version, because they don't point to the same thing anymore. This is pointing to ID instead of pointing to the physical ROM name. So your artwork and your game are pointing to the ID. It's not pointing to a physical file. So that's why here it's not a physical file anymore. It's called SMC. Do you see what I'm saying? This is SMC, but if you look at my physical ROM, it's not called SMC. My physical ROM, if you look at it on SMC, is called this. See, it doesn't have SMC in front of it. Okay, and the reason it will pull this file is because the ROM location right here, the ROM information is pointing to it. Okay, the ROM information is pointing to. So this is so the game list is now pointing to ID. ID is pointing to this. So they now tie in together. Original setup wasn't like that. That's the reason when you try to use this old setup, it doesn't work. So I have to redo the whole thing. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That's the reason we have to redo the whole thing again. So we're gonna go and scroll all the way down to D. Oop. Nope, I don't want to replace anything. I want to go ahead and select this and go all the way down to where I see D and stop. Okay, so now it's number order. Let's go all the way down till we see alphabet D. So in B now, B, still in B, C, and after D we finish, we're gonna stop the D. Okay, we're in D now, so we're gonna slow it down. And once the D hit next alphabet, we're gonna stop. E, we're gonna stop before E. And then we need to remember that number, okay? Because we need that number for the next game list. A, B, C. Now, originally I got it set up where it just automatically grab 450 over. It's not going by alphabet. Then you don't have to worry about nothing, you just copy and paste. But since people like to customize it, they want to be alphabet order, this is why you had to drag and and write down the last one you did. Okay. All right, so the last one you did is 295, but the number you're going to start next is actually 296. So I'm going to write down the side, say the next ROM is going to be 296. Why 296? Because physically it's 296 because it starts with a 0. And that's why this number is one number smaller. So the next number you actually want to use is 296. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and copy that. And we're going to go to the Notepad Plus. We're going to paste the first set. And that will be add number D. Okay, so that one is done. Game list 1 is done. Now we're going to game list 2. All right, so game list 2, we're going to do Alt Tab again. All right, at least this time we know it start at 196. So we just come here and we change that number to 296. Sorry, I didn't mean to say 196. 296. All right, 296 you start with number E, which is not correct because 96 is this one. I think I told you something wrong. Let's look at this one again. The last one is 295. So the next number will be 296. But since we're not following this number, it is 296. I'm sorry, it is 296, but it should be 297 because we added one. It's like, for example, 250. If 250, the next one would be 251. It won't be like, because we're not following this number, so it will not be 296 because 296, the total number here for this one is 296. Okay, see, it's 296. All right, I didn't change. That's the correct exact number from last time, 296. All right, so the next one we're gonna do is gonna be total 300. Okay, so that'll be E to K. Okay, and so E to K, you're gonna go to we could add a 300 to it. So next time we know exactly what's the next number because it's 300. All right, that's why it's a good idea to write a number on top so you know how much to add. So this one right now is the D. We want to start with the E. So we're gonna do 297. So 297 instead. Okay. So 297, we are going down to which alphabet? To a K. So about 300, we're going to go 300 down. So we're going to stop at K. Let's see if it's 300. Because right now it's 0, so it'll be 299 by the time we hit 300. Going to scroll. And we're going to go all the way. Going to go all the way down to where you say 3. So the ID number become 299 actually. Because it start with a 0. I think it's scrolling so fast I can't even tell what number we're on. Let me slow it down a little bit. Okay, 199. So we're going all the way down to almost 300. I think we're going to from E to K, yeah? Finish the K. Okay, we're almost there. 296, 297, should be 299. Yep, I was right, 299. Because we started with a 0, so it's 299. So we're not going to start with 300. Remember, we're not following this. We're following from the game list INI. Okay, so if you want to cheat, you could take a pen and write it down that we started at 297. We're going to add 300 to it, so it's going to be 597. The next one. Okay, so we're going to copy that. Okay, start with a 0, end with 299, so that's total 300. And we're going to go to the game list to the second one, and we're going to paste that 300 in here. All right, so that's done. Game list 2 is done. So now L2Q is going to start, the total is going to be 278. So we're going to add that to the next number later. So we wrote it down that the next number should be 597. So let's see if that's correct. So we're going to go to game list 3. Okay, we're going to type in 597, and that should start with an L. Correct. Let's make sure. Yep, we found the L2Q. Now, if you want to make sure that you got the very first one, we could type in one number behind, see what happened. So type 596 and see if that gives you the other K. Yeah, so we stop at K. That's correct. So we're going to go back and put 597 again. Okay, so 597 plus 278. So you could get all the number ready and it'd be easier and you don't have to go back and forth. So you're going to add 278 to this number of 597. So that will give you 875. So the next one will be 875. All right. So let's go ahead and go back to number 3. And we're going to go ahead and select this. And we're going to stop at 278, which will be 277. Okay. So if you keep on going till we see 277. Okay, where we at? 100. Okay. 277. Almost there. All right, 277. Okay. Oh, we got one more. 78. Huh. Must have added something extra. So this is still all. Are we stopping on all or before all? Let's go back up. Maybe it's before all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was right. 277. So the total would be 277. So yeah, because we no, we did 278. So it's one less than before. So we added 278, and this one is 276. So total is actually 277, not 278. So it was one file less than before for some reason. All right, let's copy this. All right, so we got L2Q that we just finished. So we're going to do tab L2Q. So this actually is 277 and not 278. Maybe it's a type error from last time. Because 277, the total ROM here is 277, not 278. Okay, so we finished with that one. We got two more to go. So we're gonna go next one. This next one will be starting with R to S. Okay, and R to S is 350 WOM in this location, part 4. So we're gonna go ahead and type 275 and see what happened. Probably is gonna be 273, I think. I mean 873. So next one will be 873. Let's try that. Start with a Q. See, so we want to start with R, not Q. So we're gonna put 274. I mean 874. 874. Start with RPM. Yep. Okay. So this is 874. So 874, we're gonna add 300 to it. So that way we will know what the last set is gonna be. So add 300 to 874. That'll give you 1174. 1174. That would be the next one. Oh, I shouldn't put it here. Either way, you can use this one. Let me do undo. Undo. Okay. We're actually going to put that here. Five. What's that? 875. Actually, we put 873 last time, and we find out we are not using the Q, so it'll be 874. So it'll be 874. Okay, so this would be number 4, and number 5 we would be using 1174, but that would be we're not sure exactly that would be correct, but let's see 173, see if that would change to a different alphabet. No, still S. So let's try 1172. Still the same. 1170. Okay, we're gonna have to find out 1170 still showing the S. Are we supposed to stop at S or continue with S? So, oh, we're supposed to include S. So the next one would be, okay, so it'll be 1175 then. Let's see, what is the last S? Look like S is a lot. Okay, Let's try, let's go back to number 5, see what it say. So number 5 is supposed to start with a T, and this one's supposed to include the S. Oh, it's 350. I put down 300. That's why I was getting the wrong number. My bad, I. 4, and I'll give you 12. Okay, 12,024. That's why I was getting the wrong number. It's 350. I was adding 300 to it. So this is, no wonder I couldn't get number 5 to correct number. So actually is 1224. Okay, so T started here, so it'll be 1225. 1225. We want to go one number. So this is correct. So this will be the last set. This will be the last set for D. So you could just select all that and go all the way down till you don't see nothing, and that's the end of the section. Game I9 number 5. Number 5, yes. The last one is easier to do because you just scroll till you see no more. Oop, I just accidentally clicked. Okay, so the last one is only 201. The total is 201 on this one. So go all the way up. All right, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna go to the game list and we're gonna put the last one is 201. Yep, it is 201. So that's correct. So we're gonna paste that. So number 5 is done. So let's go ahead and finish number 4, and then we are done with everything. Okay, then we are done with everything. So this is R to S. We're going to finish roughly around 349 when we scroll down. All right, so we're going to go to number 4. Or we can start from the bottom. It'd be easier. Go to where the last S is going to be located at. Went too much. Okay, why? Where the S is? Oop, there's a T. I think I pass it. ST, STUV. So let's go to the S. It should be like a 349, 300, 349. Oop. 47, 48, and there's 49. So that is the last one. I was correct. 40. Oh, that's still T. Yeah. Yeah. 350. So this number is actually 351 because we start with a 0. So the S end here. All right. So we're going to go up from here, all the way up. Gonna copy that. And then we're gonna go to here. So here will be actually 351. Gonna paste that because 350 plus the next one will be 350. Well, 3 plus because there's a 0, so we actually this whole WOM set total is 351. All right, so this one is 351. This next one we need to save that. Make sure we got everything saved before we unplug this. So because the WOM is already saved. This one, save already, save already, save, and save, and save. All right, so this is 201. So this is all done. Nintendo is done. So we are going to reject the SD card and then test it. So this is how you do the ROM set for the Super NES and for the other stuff. The hardest part is trying to get the, get your game list ready by dropping it. If you don't have a game list to drop, you have to create your own. Uh, you have to do the DOS prompt, like I show you, do a directory, you know, you know, directory to a text file, and then from there you go from there start creating more file. Okay, like this, and that's how you started with. You go to a directory and create the file, open up the file, delete all the nonsense out of there, extra space, and then from there you start creating different combine them, deleting all the extra space, and then once you create the list you want, like if you do a Game Boy, you're gonna put GBA underscore and then get rid of all the space, and then you have to rename. So it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but this at least this will help a lot. It helped me a lot. All right, let's go test the Super Nintendo. Actually, this is ready to go, but I want to fix the final burnout before I release it, and the picture as well, the background, because some of the background is too dark and we can't see anything. All right, thank you for watching, and hopefully this helped a little. I know it's a lot to take in, but at least it is has give you some idea how it is done, and you can look at the formula and you can learn from it. I like to use people's formulas, so in case in the future, if I need to do something like that, or find something, or create a table, I could use this spreadsheet that I'm giving you guys. All right, talk to you later.